What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we are now 210 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. Who would you guys like to see challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE title at WrestleMania? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of WrestleMania, this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue is going to be very interesting because we found out that according to multiple sources, apparently WWE has announced that we are going to be seeing a title versus title match at Roadblock when it's inside Madison Square Garden. But who will be defending their titles? Well, it is actually none other than the NXT champion Obafemi and the TNA X Division champion Moose of the faction known as the System. And it's weird because this is the first time ever that a TNA championship will be defended on NXT soil. Yes, we had seen TNA champions show up, including the now TNA World Champion Joe Hendry, and also tomorrow night on NXT, we're going to be seeing the in-ring WWE return of the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, as they'll be facing off against Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne of the NQCC, which I'm looking forward to that one. I am looking forward to it. Can't wait to finally see the Hardys back in WWE. I know that the Hardys said that they wanted to end their pro wrestling run with WWE, which honestly makes sense. I mean, they started their careers in WWE. It's only right that they would want to end their careers in WWE. So I'm actually looking forward to that. But with this champion versus champion, title for title match at Roadblock, this has sparked a lot of questions that fans have been clamoring about, including one question of which match types from TNA should NXT use in the future. Well, for this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 3 match types that I feel like NXT should use that TNA has had for so long. And there is an honorable mention. And that honorable mention is Lethal Lockdown. Now, much like War Games, Lethal Lockdown is pretty similar to War Games. Very, very similar. The only difference is that there are several key differences between War Games and Lethal Lockdown. With War Games, it's 2 rings, 1 massive cage, no roof. That right there is basically the 3 key differences. Where as opposed to to Lethal Lockdown, it's one ring, one cage, with one small cage, if you will, with a roof, with a roof, and usually the roof will have weapons on it. So we'll have different different weapons, if you will, that can be used in the match. Things things like a steel chair, a kendo stick. We've seen steel chains. We've seen 2x4s wrapped in barbed wire, a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Hell, we've even seen tables as well, ladders, if you will. There have been a lot of different toys, I guess, if you will, that the wrestlers could use inside Lethal Lockdown. And another key thing is that the only similarity between War Games and Lethal Lockdown is the teams, and that is the fact, and is the normality of the teams of 5. So it makes it very different. So with Lethal Lockdown, it makes it very difficult, if you will, for the combatants to maneuver around, but in a way that's the nature of Lethal Lockdown, is that you're confined into one space. And we've seen over the years, the amount of talent that have competed inside Lethal Lockdown. Guys like Bully Ray, guys like Devon, guys like Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, James Storm, Bobby Roode, who else? The Monster Abyss, or now Chris Parks, who's now a backstage producer in WWE, which is incredible. We've seen, there've been a lot of talent who have competed inside Lethal Lockdown and never made it out the same. Same thing, and it's the same thing with War Games. Once you step inside, you will never come out the same. And I feel like because that the main roster has been using War Games over the course of the last 3-4 years now. I feel like NXT should have their own version of War Games, and that would be Lethal Lockdown. And would be Lethal Lockdown, especially given the fact that you've got right now you've got the no quarter catch crew who've been making enemies left and right. Even also the new faction that's a part of NXT that we saw at Vengeance Day attack Josh Briggs, Yoshiki Inamura, the tag team champions Fraxium, and of course the NXT champion Obafemi, just from out of nowhere. Why they would do that, though, is beyond me. No one really knows why. However, there has been rumors going around that we could end up seeing these guys show up to NXT tomorrow night for them to explain their actions. So it'll be that will be very interesting. But with those 4 men making enemies out of everybody, one could assume that we may end up seeing Lethal Lockdown featuring those 4 guys and any 4 other dudes who have been made enemies out of those 4 PC trainees. The weird thing is, though, we already know 2 of them, Dion Lennox and Cutler James, both of which were fan favorites by the NXT universe. But But we knew that Dion Lennox had been feeling a bit disrespected in terms of as as far as things went between Ashante the Adonis and Carmen Petrovich and of course Nikita Lyons. With all that chaos, Dion Lennox got caught in the middle and he felt disrespected. So him I can understand. Cutler James, I don't know why. I mean, he was a fan favorite, especially when he was competing on NXT Level Up, which is now no longer around, unfortunately. But I don't know. That's a weird one. But I think with something like that, Lethal Lockdown definitely should definitely be a part of NXT. But we don't really know. We don't really know if that's actually going to happen. But only time will tell. But that is the honorable mention. But here's the first one that I feel like should definitely be a part of NXT. The first one is Ultimate X. This is by far now Ultimate X is actually probably by far the I guess in a way Ultimate X is a really weird version of a ladder match. Excuse me. Now, for those who are curious about Ultimate X, the rules are a bit complicated, I will say, but they are sort of simple. All the combatants will be in the ring at the exact same time. There are no pinfalls, no submissions, no countouts, no disqualifications, and depending what's up for grabs, the only way to win is to climb one of the support beams that hold up the ropes for Ultimate X and scale the support beams, scale the ropes, and grab whatever is on the line. First person to do so wins. We've seen over the years in TNA, we've had contracts get put up for grabs. We've had the X get put up for grabs, which with that, whoever grabbed that would basically be given a shot at the TNA X Division Championship, which became the most prestigious championship in TNA history, aside from the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And speaking of that, we've had championships get put up for grabs as well, and because that most of the WWE fans are sick and tired of the same old matches, the same tables, ladders, and scares matches, lumberjack matches, and all that bullshit. I feel like NXT should spice things up a bit and bring in Ultimate X, because this will give the diehard WWE fans an idea of what Ultimate X is all about. And given how dangerous that match is, I think it can definitely fit under the new and improved NXT banner, at least in my opinion anyway. Yeah, definitely Ultimate X. The second one is actually one that I became a huge fan of, and that is Feast or Fired. Much like Ultimate X, there is a price to pay. Now, as far as Feast or Fired goes, the rules are simple. There's a pole on each ring post. Atop of those poles contains a briefcase, and the amount of talent, the amount of superstars that would compete in this match can go, I believe, goes up to 10. 10 superstars, and the only way to win is for one person to climb the turnbuckles and grab one briefcase. Once 4 superstars have grabbed all 4 briefcases, the match ends. Now, as far as the contents of those briefcases, one would contain a shot at the TNA World Championship. One would contain a shot at the TNA Tag Team titles. One would contain a shot at the TNA X Division title, or perhaps the Digital Media Championship. And then the other briefcase contains a pink slip that has that basically says that you no longer work with TNA at all, or any promotion that you are with. Literally, you're done. You are gone. You're fired. No more. So I feel like because that there are a lot because there's a lot of superstars in NXT who have been trying to seize their opportunity to try and become a champion in NXT. Why not settle it by putting them in Feast or Fire? This with the match like this, it weeds out the weak. It weeds out. It brings in the strong competitors, but it weeds out the weak, and it kicks out the weak of WWE, in hopes that at some point when they come back in the future, they'll be even more stronger and even more wiser, if you will, than they were when they first stepped into WWE. And we've seen over the years, there have been a lot of talent who have gained the fired briefcase, and it wasn't pretty. We've seen guys like EC3 get that briefcase. We've seen who else? There's been quite a few. There's been quite a few. I know that Chavo Guerrero once had that briefcase. There was even also another guy that had gotten the fired briefcase, but didn't really understand, which I found kind of funny. But because that there are a lot of superstars in NXT who are very weak, I feel like by taking them out of the equation, it brings in more stronger talent, if you will. And who knows? I mean, Feast or Fire could definitely play a factor in NXT, especially on the road to WrestleMania 41 weekend this year. But the last one is another one of my favorites, and you really can't deny how intense this one became. And it became so intense that a lot of people actually either got fired because of it, or they ended up getting automatically disqualified from the match itself. And that is the Bound for Glory series. Now, the Bound for Glory series is actually a Robin style tournament where it is usually, I think, 10 superstars. I believe it's 10 superstars. I want to see. Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory series. Okay, okay, the Bound for Glory series is a Robin style tournament where 12 wrestlers would compete in a series of matches over the course of several months, which which by the standards of TNA, it would basically take place throughout the entire summer, and it would last until through the fall, if you will. Um, and whoever won the Bound for Glory series overall would receive a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And it's weird because when you look at everybody who has won the Bound for Glory series, um the first ever tournament actually took place in 2011. That one was won by Bobby Roode, who had 16 matches with and had won 59 points, which is incredible. Um, then of course Jeff Hardy um had ended won Bound for Glory series, and then I think in 2013, yeah, there have been, I think that was won by AJ Styles, and it didn't come back, and it actually stopped the Bound for Glory series until 2016, which was won by none other than EC3. And that was pretty much it. That was the last time that we had the Bound for Glory series. And it's weird. It's weird because the Bound for Glory series was such an incredible format. It was actually like it was such an incredible tournament. I honestly don't understand why they chose to end the Bound for Glory series in in um in TNA, but the amount of people that competed in this tournament were just absolutely incredible. I mean, you had guys like Scott Steiner, Matt Morgan, Kurt Angle, Frank Xerian, Jay Bradley, Hernandez, Gunner, Devon, Austin Aries, Rob Van Dam, Magnus, James Storm, Christopher Daniels, Bully Ray, Bobby Roode, Jeff Hardy, and then of course the only two men that have been in more that have appeared in more tournaments than anyone else are AJ Styles and Samoa Joe with 3. Everyone else has either competed in it once or twice, and it's weird because if because I believe the way it works as far as the points, the way it works was this: 10 points were awarded if you won by submission, 7 points if you won by pinfall, 5 points for a countout, 3 points for a disqualification, and 2 points was awarded for a draw, and 10 points were taken away from you if you lost, if there was a disqualification lost. And there were also special matches that would also be made where the winner of the match would be awarded up to 25 points. So for example, let's say that there was a ladder match for a for a shot at, let's say, the TNA Tag Team Championship. Let's say, for example, whoever won that ladder match would not only get a shot at the tag team titles with his tag team partner, which could be anybody, but he would also be awarded up to 25 points depending on depending on what management decided to give the winner. It could have been 10 points, could have been 15. It could again, and it could have been 25 points, mostly to put which would have given you the lead in that tournament. And I feel like because that we're now on the road to stand and deliver this year, I feel like stand and deliver would be a perfect fit for the Bound for Glory series. So the way I see it, if I was a part of NXT, right? If I was co-GM of NXT with Ava, and me and her needed something big for Stand and Deliver, I would bring in the Bound for Glory series, which would start at the beginning of the new year, and it would end right around the second to last week before Stand and Deliver, in which case we would have the finals, and then the next week a contract signing to make the match official between the winner of the Bound for Glory series and, of course, the NXT champion. And I feel like as well the women should also get that opportunity as well. Mostly not just because of the fact that there's probably one of the biggest rosters in women's wrestling history, but mainly because those women want the shot of headlining Stand and Deliver, and so it's like, why not? Why not give the women their flowers and give them their chance to compete in the Bound for Glory series tournament? Is it possible for WWE and NXT to bring in these these different match types? Absolutely. It is 100% possible. Is it going to really happen? Only time will tell. No one really knows, but we will just have to wait and see. But let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this, and which TNA match stipulations do you believe NXT should use moving forward. Let me know down in the comments below. And that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.